Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shuna Faith P. Villarico from English 3B, and I am one of the discussants for today. So I am going to continue the purpose of review literature. So without further ado, let's begin. A review of the literature is the starting point for almost every primary research effort. The goal of a research article's literature review section is to give the reader an overall framework for where this piece of work fits in the bigger picture of what is known about a topic from previous research. Thus, the literature review assists to describe the study issue and to provide a rationale for the problem being examined and the need for future research. One of the purposes of the review of related literature is to highlight any gaps or the unexplored areas that may exist in the literature, evaluate the previous research, or address a business or professional issue. The literature review will illustrate how your research contributes to the scholarly conversation. It identifies new ways to interpret and shed lights on any gaps in previous research, and it also identifies areas of controversy and contested claims, as well as to resolve conflicts amongst seemingly contradictory previous studies. But what is gap in research? When we say gap, it is also considered the missing piece or pieces in the research literature. It is the area that has not been yet explored or is underexplored. This could be a population or sample, including size, type, location, and etc. Research method, data collection and/or analysis, or other research variables or conditions. So, how can we identify or how can we find research gaps? As you search for journal articles, you will need to read critically across the breadth of the literature to identify these gaps. There are some steps you can take to help identify research gaps, since it is impossible to go through all the information and research available nowadays. First, you have to select a topic or question that motivates you. Because research can take a long time and a lot of physical, intellectual, and emotional labor, select a topic that will keep you engaged and motivate throughout the process. Second, find keywords and related terms to your selected topic. This will assist you in the following phase, in addition to synthesizing the issue to its fundamental core. The third one is to use the identified keywords to search literature. Identify relevant articles and cited literature in those publications based on your results in the preceding phase. The fourth one is to look for topics or issues that are missing or not addressed within or related to your main topic. And lastly, you have to read systematic reviews. These publications delve thoroughly into scholarly literature in order to uncover trends and paradigm shifts in many disciplines of study. They occasionally identify regions or subjects that require additional attention from academics and professionals. Research gaps are very beneficial to the advancement of science in general. Finding a research gap and having the resources to conduct a comprehensive and complete study on it may be extremely satisfying for the team, not to mention how its new findings can benefit our entire society. It is important to keep in mind, however, that just because you identify a gap in the research, it doesn't necessarily mean that your research question is worthy of exploration. You will want to make sure that your research will have valuable practical and theoretical implications. In other words, answering the research question could either improve existing practice and inform professional decision making, or it could revise, build upon, or create theoretical frameworks informing research, design, and practice. The next purpose is that it provides foundation of knowledge and topic. It increases your bed of knowledge in your area of research. Literature reviews are designed to provide an overview of sources you have explored while researching a particular topic and to demonstrate to your readers how your research fits into the larger field of study. It broadens your knowledge in your research area. The most important function of the literature review is to ensure you read wisely around the subject in which you intend to conduct your research study. It is important that you know what other researchers have found in regard to the same or similar questions, what theories have been put forward, and what gaps exist in the relevant body of knowledge. A thorough literature review helps you to fulfill this expectation. The next one, it is to ensure that you are not just repeating what others have already done. It identifies areas of prior scholarship to prevent duplication of effort. It sets the background on what has been explored on a topic so far, and it helps you to avoid reinventing the wheel by discovering the research already conducted on a topic. Identify new ways to interpret prior research. Literature reviews can give you an overview or act as a stepping stone. Identify need for additional research or justifying your research. Literature reviews also provide a solid background for a research paper's investigation. Comprehensive knowledge of the literature of the field is essential to most research papers. It helps you to justify your research by indicating how it is different from other works in the same area. Going through the literature acquaints you with the methodologies that have been used by others to find answers to research questions similar to the one you are investigating. A literature review tells you if others have used procedures and methods similar to the ones that you are proposing, which procedures and methods have worked well for them, and what problems and pitfalls you will be better positioned to select a methodology that is capable of providing valid answers to your research question. This will increase your confidence in the methodology you plan to use and will equip you to defend its use. And number 8, it describes the relationship of each source to the others that you have selected. Describe the relationship of each work to the others under consideration. Identify the relationship of works in context of its contribution to the topic and to the other works. As the foundation of any research project, the literature review should accomplish several important objectives. It sets the broad context of the study, clearly demarcates what is and what is not within the scope of the investigation, and justifies those decisions. It also situates an existing literature in a broader scholarly and historical context. It should not only report the claims made in the existing literature, but it also examine critically the research methods used to better understand whether the claims are warranted. Moreover, this type of review allows the author not only to summarize the existing literature, but also to synthesize it in a way that permits a new perspective. To provide an overview of the key findings and debates on the topic. Provides you with opposing viewpoints. The main focus of an academic research paper is to develop a new argument, and the research paper is likely to contain a literature review as one of its parts. In a research paper, you use the literature as a foundation and as a support for a new insight that you contribute. The focus of a literature review, however, is to summarize and synthesize the arguments and ideas of others without adding new contributions. And lastly, it places each work in the context of its contribution to understanding the research problem being studied. In addition, the literature review can be used to help in the design of the study by providing guidance as to appropriate sample size or identifying promising data collection practices or instruments that can be used in your study. Familiarity with the literature is useful for both quantitative and qualitative studies, no matter what the researcher's paradigm. Everyone who prepares a literature review should do so with a critical eye. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the prior research? What is missing from the formal body of scholarly literature that might be necessary in order to formulate an appropriate research focus and method of investigation? So here are some of the questions the review of literature can answer. What are the key sources? What are the major issues and debates about the topic? What are the political standpoints? What are the origins and definitions of the topic? What are the key theories, concepts, and ideas? What are the epistemological grounds for the discipline? How is knowledge on the topic structured and organized? And lastly, what are the main questions and problems that have been addressed to date? A literature review is meant to help you to provide a context for your own research. Identify relationships between ideas and practice. Distinguish what has been done from what needs to be done on your topic. Identify the main methodologies and research techniques that have been used. Understand the structure of the subjects. Synthesize the process and gain a new perspective on the subject. And lastly, rationalize the significance of the problem. To sum up everything, a literature review's purpose is to gather all the available sources related to your paper's topic in one place and evaluate them. To provide a review of writings on the given topic in order to establish the reviewer's own position in the existing field of scholarship on that topic. A literature review provides a reader with a comprehensive look at previous discussions prior to the one the reviewer will be making in his or her own research paper, thesis, or dissertation. The goal of any literature review is to summarize and synthesize current knowledge's argument and ideas in a certain topic without making any new contributions. They assist the researcher in even turning the wheels of the topic of investigation because they are built on current information. Overpowering current findings requires a thorough understanding of what is wrong with them. For other researchers, the literature review points them in the right direction. Why is it so important? Think of it this way. If a thesis is your final piece of work, then a literature review is one of your best drafts which doesn't need to be not so polished. But without it, you can't reach the desired result. Therefore, a review of literature is a vital part of your work. I hope you learned a thing or two from this topic, and thank you for listening.